Okay, the leather production video that I saw on YouTube is relatively objective. This video doesn't have a lot of marketing components in it. Basically, to summarize, look at this leather. Basically, through this video, it's clearly introduced 3 major stages of leather production. First stage, rawhide. We'll go through hair removal and lime removal. Then the second stage, the blue wet leather will be tanned with planktonic acid, borate metal, hexavalent chromium, etc. Regards to the tanning material and additives. If you're interested in it, you can get details from this book. It introduces organic chemical raw materials. In organic chemical raw materials, resin plastic, surfactant, paint, adhesive, the cleaning agent, very professional, from molecular weight to effectiveness, covers dose to ratio. It's all included. This is a very professional manual. For this book, I'm not going to go into that. First, waste of time. Second, it has little impact on our actual production. But you have to understand that after tanning, the blue wet leather will become different type of leather. For example, vegetable tanned leather, chrome tanned leather are classified at this stage. Third stage is finishing. This stage is beautifying the surface or process, not necessarily beautification. It could be uglification. Make a variety of effects that meet demands from client, like what? Such as spray painting, make various touch filling, do hardening, or make this shiny and smooth finish pattern leather, etc. Many effects. This is called finishing. Basically, leather production is divided into these 3 major segments. These 3 major processes have different requirements on raw materials and the site. This resulted in 3 levels of factories. The first level factory only accepts rawhides, making into blue wet leather. In China, 90% or even 95% of the first level leather factory have been moved overseas for production because the pollution and demand for water in this part is very large. Well, I grew up in Inner Mongolia. There used to be a tannery next to my house. That riverbank there stinks. And then, in 1998, that tannery shut down. So there are basically very few leather factories in our country. There are many sayings about imported leather derived here. Lots of suppliers say they sell imported leather. Well, it's basically correct, because most of the rawhides are imported. But he can only say that some of the raw materials are imported, and imports are not necessarily all good, because most of the wet blue leather are from India, Bangladesh, Brazil, Argentina. These imported leather are not as good as Chinese leather, because it's not very technical. It's not much of an added value, so we rarely produce blue wet leather. And second level factory, after the blue wet leather is tanned. In this stage, determines the characteristic of leather, like vegetable tanned leather, chrome tanned leather, oil tanned leather, and blend tans. Vegetable tanned leather are mainly tanned with ox or thorn bark, or birch, chestnut wood, tartannin. These plant-based tannins. These plant-based tannins are called vegetable tanned leather. Whereas, since 1850, leather started to tan through aluminum mixture, zirconium mixture and titanium mixture, etc., or hexavalent chromium. Tanned leather is softer and more colorful, more in line with people's demand for leather. 1858 was a Renaissance turning point, and then the beautification of leather, or the application of luggage and clothing is even more wider, so it needs softer leather, because before that, something made of vegetable tanned leather. If you just start leathercraft, you can buy a piece of vegetable tanned leather to feel it. It's very hard, very thick. It is basically used for making shoes, or make some dress belts, some kind of leather belt, armor, scabbard, weight. These parts, including the bag that contained the telescope, during World War I and World War II, and the whole stuff, army boots, etc. It was all hard stuff back then, so people didn't have a lot of aesthetic requirements, but high requirements in firmness, light, and portability. So, it was mainly vegetable tanned leather. Then chrome tanned leather. It has so many advantages. So that's why 95% of the leather on the market today is a civilian market, not the military market. It's not an industrial market as well. The leather we see in the civilian market, 95% or more are chrome tanned leather, or non-vegetable tanned leather, mainly chrome tanned leather. and quite a lot. And here's a couple of concepts for you. So a lot of marketing. Lots of marketing articles, especially selling vegetable tan leather or vegetable tan leather works. They are all beautifying vegetable tan leather, like natural and healthy, edible, messy. It's not right exactly, including that chrome tanned leather can cause cancer. It's trivalent chromium that causes cancer, not hexavalent chromium. If the chrome tanned leather has an application in all aspects of our life, if it could cause cancer, I believe countries all over the world will boycott. So don't be misled. There is no need to be misled by this low-level marketing copy. So, trivalent chromium and hexavalent chromium are different. It's like carbon. It's different molecular structure. That can come out as charcoal. It can also be a diamond, right? So these two chemical things are completely different. Also, a single mixture is used for tanning the leather. Its attributes are too monotonous. So now, I don't know the exact ratio. This has not been counted either. Now the leather we apply is often mixed in, but we can uniformly classify it as chrome tan leather here, because we are not a leather professional. Therefore, it is enough to simply know some basic concepts. Since the 14th Five-Year Plan, China's 5-year plan from 2021 to 2015, the leather manufacturing industry has also begun to slowly enter the process of chromium-free. What is already relatively mature is the application in the fields of national defense, science, and technology. Well, like Robusta, it has a sealing ring. The material of the sealing ring is a chrome-free leather. Use other rubber like silicone, gelatin. It doesn't work very well. This is a little anecdote, right? Just have an idea about the trend of leather application. Chrome tan leather is the dominant trend, but what the future holds is less certain. 2 days ago, a buddy, he switched from vegetable to chrome tan leather craft. He wrote an article. He said he copied it on J-Ho. It said the mineral chrome tanning is widely used in the fashion industry, accounts for 80%, low cost and high efficiency, suitable for mass production in factories. It's a very controversial approach, because chrome tanned leather can cause cancer, genetic mutation, or God. This is nonsense. Why? You can use these words. Go search. You can see this article. This is a product that sells vegetable tanned leather. Often need to create panic to market. Speak for vegetable tanned leather. We don't care about that. I personally love vegetable tanned leather, but I rarely do it because it doesn't quite fit my personal aesthetic. Okay, the third level is finishing in Guangdong, Guangxi, Yunnan, and Guizhou province, China. Most of the leather factory here are third-level factory. It's also called a water plant. They only do surface finishing, polishing, flattening or softening, etc. These final effects. If you have the opportunity to go to Guangdong, you will see by and world, Shinhapon. There are tens of thousands of stores. Almost every store has their own factory. This factory is normally a third-level factory, because second-level factory, well, has higher requirements on environment. The first-level factory is basically gone in China. So when you have the opportunity to buy leather, you can ask them, do you have your own factory? Is it a second-level factory or a third-level factory? Once you ask this question, you'll be professional in front of them, right? You won't be fooled. Then the common classification are vegetable, chrome, and oil tan leather. Vegetable tan leather. Basically, first representative is Hoying from us. Japan is famous for Tochigi leather, and the vegetable tan leather alliance in Italy. It is represented by these three parties. Hoying leather is quite popular, but this leather is ordinary. Is it mainly used in work boots or something more retro American products? The best vegetable tan leather is still from Italian Alliance. See this logo. There are 24 factories in this alliance. Now it has expanded to 28 factories. Well, I also went to Italian leather exhibition in 2019. Then I also got some quotations, such as Butero. Butero is produced back in Syria. This factory will give you various swatches. Then the smell is really, really good. The offer they gave, basically, it is half the price that we can buy in China. So at that time I thought, I can sell them. It's 70 to 100 plus RMB per SQ.ft in China, but he sells only around 35 RMB per SQ.ft. It has a huge profit margin, but after calculating logistics costs, customs tax and duty, etc., just gave up because this thing seems to be quite profitable. In fact, the profit is quite low, and the capital requirements are relatively high because it has a mold. It's about 300 SQ.ft per color. Well, this is a little tidbit. That is to say, vegetable tan leather. It's good leather, but it's not available for many applications. It is mainly used in retro bags, industrial heavy leather, shoes, etc. Well, we can currently buy it in China, like 60 to 150 RMB SQ.ft for Japanese and American leather, over 10 RMB or 70 to 80 RMB SQ.ft for similar domestic leather. And for Italian leather, from Italian, Alliance is about 50 to 100 RMB SQ.ft. This does not include expensive leather like bridal leather, other special ones like vegetable tanned crocodile leather, vegetable tanned cordovan. We will skip them. Then chrome tanned leather. It's basically thinner and lighter. It's softer, more elastic. And all kinds of animal leather can be chrome tanned. Vegetable tanning is limited because quite a lot of animal leather is too thin. The fiber are not able to achieve a vegetable tan effect, so chrome tanning is more flexible. Besides, their patterns are more various, such as toggle, Epsom, Napa, water-shaped pattern, cross-grain, crocodile, ostrich pattern embossing, lots and lots, and it's particularly colorful. Application of chrome tanned leather, basically for our clothing, bags, etc., or civilian use. But they are also in different fields. They also has a distinction between different industries. For example, furniture leather, such as for sofas, car seats, steering wheels, and clothing. Clothing is basically made of sheepskin. And for shoes, leather for shoes are different for gloves. They're completely different. Leather for making bags, mainly from what we just talked. There are lots of types. The leather used for the current luxury goods, basically from German, Italian, French. Anyway, the vast majority is plain pattern. Secondly, the toggle pattern. Epsom, toggle are also divided into large and small patterns. Well, we will introduce what type of bags are suitable for some specific leather in later practical lessons. Oil wax leather is the niche of the niche. This leather is not very high-end. It is a mid to low-end product. Well, mainly India, Bangladesh. Its style is very rough, very durable. Then because it is more retro, so there is also a relatively niche demand in the past 2 years. This leather is very cheap. Basically, it is more than 10 or 21 RMB per SQ.ft. Almost none of them are above 30 RMB. Their selection rate is relatively high, also thicker, but the edge is almost impossible to handle. Such as vegetable tanned leather, we can seal the edge with water, but can't seal well tanned leather with water, and also can't seal with edge oil. Cause a lot of wax and oil inside this leather, so the adhesion of the edge oil is also very poor. That's why products made by oil wax leather should be rough style, retro style, above 3 kinds of leather. These 3 types of leather are commonly used in handmade leather goods, since different leather manufacturers and models have different prices. So we don't point them out here. Okay then, when we know the relationship between rawhide and leather, and types of leather, different characteristics and easily confused concepts, will not only make ourselves more professional, also help us to define the professionalism and reliability of the seller. Then there's a better control of the cost from the raw materials. Some people asked me before, wabisabi, most of the people use Epsom to make calorie. Can I use vegetable tanned leather? Will it work? It's not a question of whether it works or not. Whatever you want, you can do it with cloth. Either you use artificial leather, PVC, you can use anything. The effect is definitely different, right? What you want is retro, then you use vegetable tanned leather, or oil wax leather. But what if you want to do it French style or Italian style? Just advise you, use Epsom, right? And then include the leather size. What about the leather size? Basically, 30 centimeters is 1 square FT. That is to say 1 SF in China usually measure leather by 30 centimeters per SQ.FT square feet, and price is calculated by SQ.FT, not a piece of leather. Yes, they used some customers who came to me to order a bag. Say, a piece of leather is only more than 30 RMB. I said it was 3 RMB per square FT, not 30 RMB a piece. It's particularly another case. For example, each piece of leather is very irregular. When it's expanded, let's search it casually. The shape of the leather is very irregular, right? You can't measure it little by little with a ruler. Then there is a space. You have no way to judge whether the leather you buy is full size. What should I do at this time? Currently leather sold in China. Well, if the supply is still 10%, it's called the industry standard, or it's still 20%. It's called basic operation, because they know it's hard for you to measure because the shape is irregular. How do you measure it? The manufacturer has a scanner. For example, you buy 20,000 RMB of leather every year. You had 2,000 RMB and it was stolen. Even 3,000 to 4,000 RMB. At this moment, here is a tip. You can cut a small piece of leather, such as cut SQ.FT 30*3 cm. Then weigh it. Okay, now we can calculate. For example, if you buy 20 square FT, then you cut SQ.FT. You weigh 100 grams. Then theoretically this leather should be 2 kilograms, right? But you weigh the whole leather. Again, if it's only 1,800 grams, that's 10% stolen. So the weight method is easy for us to calculate. But how many people have weighed yet? Or how many people know? So, the leather supplier earned this part. It's tricky. Say 30 RMB per square FT. You bought a leather around 20 square FT. As a result, 1 or 2 square FT was stolen, and you didn't realize it at all. For example, when we go to Guangdong, take some samples. They will cut a random piece for you, any piece from a leather. You don't know how much they have cut from this piece of leather. After that, they may sell this piece of leather based on the size market problem. Anything wrong with it? If you have a high demand for leather, you can weigh. Just tell the boss, we will weigh this leather when we go back. Just this sentence. He won't steal too much from you. Steal 5% from you at most. This is normal selection rate. But if they steal more than 10% from you, then it's unreasonable. Because every time I buy leather, at least over 100,000 RMB per time, sometimes over hundreds of thousands RMB. If my leather is stolen like this, it's tens of thousands of RMB was stolen. It's like having a car stolen, right? What's even more sad is that they still laugh at you for being stupid when steal your leather. That's more annoying, right? If you have any questions or things to share, you can share in our Facebook learning group, where is especially built for students attending the systematic course. Remember not to advertise in the group. If you're sharing things like, which supplier provides good and cheap leather, we'll welcome this topic. Can everyone go to the group to purchase some products together, or do some specific products through DIY kit? These type of topics are all good to share in the group. I hope it is a healthy communication group, not a group full of marketing.